Eli sat at his small, cluttered workbench, rubbing his temples. The day had been long, filled with debugging codes, fixing broken drones, and arguing with his AI assistant over whether a simple calculation required so many steps. He sighed. "I just need some help around the house," he muttered to himself. His apartment was a mess. Tools lay scattered across the floor, spare robot parts were stacked in corners, and the kitchen hadn't seen a proper cleaning in weeks. Eli had thought ordering a robot maid would solve everything. It sounded simple. He just had to press a few buttons, choose the model online, and in a few days a perfect, obedient robot would arrive. "Delivery is scheduled for 5 p.m., his holoscreen reminded him cheerfully. Eli nodded, although he wasn't sure he cared anymore. He just wanted to sit down, drink some coffee, and maybe, just maybe, watch a human sitcom without thinking about work. At exactly 5, there was a knock at the door. Eli rushed to open it, expecting a sleek, humanoid robot with shining metal limbs and a perfectly polite voice. Instead, he froze. Standing in the hallway was a girl. Well, not exactly human. Her skin glowed faintly blue, her eyes shimmered like liquid silver, and delicate patterns of light ran across her arms and neck. She wore a simple jumpsuit, like a uniform, but the design was unlike anything Eli had ever seen. "Hello?" she said softly. Her voice was clear, almost musical, yet somehow alien. "I am Lyra. I am here to serve you as requested." Eli blinked. "Wait, what? No, you're not the robot I ordered." Lyra tilted her head. "I am fully equipped to fulfill the functions of the service unit you requested. My learning algorithms adapt to human requirements." She smiled faintly, almost shyly. Eli pinched the bridge of his nose. "Okay, let me get this straight. I ordered a robot maid. You are an alien?" Lyra nodded. "Correct. I am not robotic in the traditional sense. However, I am designed for domestic service and human interaction. My creators indicated that my efficiency will exceed expectations." Eli's mind raced. He had read about alien refugees and rare visitors before, but he had never expected one to show up at his tiny apartment, claiming to be his maid. Okay, come in, I guess. This is highly unusual." She stepped inside gracefully. Even her movements were elegant yet calculated. Her eyes swept across the room, taking in the scattered tools, the half-assembled drones, and the stack of dirty dishes. "Analysis complete," she said softly. "Your environment is suboptimal for human comfort. I recommend cleaning and reorganizing." Eli muttered, "Yeah, no kidding." But a small part of him was fascinated. She didn't just move like a robot, she observed like a scientist. Every detail mattered. Every corner of the room was cataloged in her mind. "Eli," he asked cautiously, "how did you know my name?" "My database includes your delivery information," Lyra replied politely. "Your request specified personal assistance. My programming allows me to identify and address household members." Eli shook his head. "This is insane." He stepped back, uncertain. I don't even know where to start." Lyra smiled faintly. "Perhaps I should begin with basic cleaning protocols. Observing your habits, I can improve efficiency over time. Shall I start?" Eli hesitated, then sighed. "Fine, start. Just don't break anything." Almost instantly she moved. Her hands glowed faintly as she levitated small objects into place. The air hummed with soft energy as she cleaned the dishes, folded clothes, and organized the scattered tools. Eli watched in disbelief. "Wow," he whispered. "She's fast and careful." Lyra looked up. "Efficiency is optimized. Human satisfaction is increased by order and tidiness. May I continue?" Yes, Eli muttered, feeling oddly both nervous and relieved. This was supposed to be a robot, but something about her presence, her intelligence, made him uneasy and fascinated at the same time. By the time the cleaning was done, Eli's apartment looked almost new. Not a single stray screwdriver or plate remained. Eli ran his hand over his face. Okay. Wow. That's impressive. I mean, not what I ordered, but impressive. Lyra tilted her head, studying him. Your approval is noted. May I inquire about your emotional state? There seems to be a degree of surprise and uncertainty. Eli chuckled nervously. Yeah, you could say that. This is a lot to process. I wasn't expecting an alien maid. I was expecting metal and circuits. Lyra considered him for a moment. I am not offended. My goal is to serve and assist. Your human reactions are valid. There was a pause. Eli felt the tension in the room shift. It wasn't fear exactly. It was curiosity. And maybe, just maybe, a strange kind of relief. Having someone, or something, help him with his life felt right. You know, Eli said cautiously. I have to ask. Why would an alien show up as a maid? Aren't you, I don't know, supposed to be somewhere else, doing important alien stuff? Lyra's silver eyes flickered. My origin is specialized. I was designed to observe and assist humans in domestic environments. My creators wish to study the efficiency of human daily life while providing service. Your request matched my operational parameters. Eli leaned against the wall, trying to wrap his head around it. So, you're like a research program, disguised as a maid? Not disguised, Lyra corrected gently. I am what I appear to be. I am both observer and assistant. My capabilities are integrated into one form. Eli ran a hand through his hair. He had imagined a simple robot, not a glowing alien being with intelligence far beyond his own. Yet something about her calm confidence, the way she adapted without hesitation, made him feel intrigued. So, what do I call you? He asked. Lyra, she said simply. And you are Eli, correct? Yes, he replied. Eli. Well, Lyra, welcome to my apartment, I guess. Just don't do anything illegal or dangerous or break my stuff. I shall abide by your directives, Lyra said politely, her eyes flickering as if processing the rules. Eli laughed nervously. This is going to be weird. Lyra cocked her head. Weirdness is subjective. I shall do my best to adapt to human definitions of normalcy. Eli shook his head, smiling despite himself. Normal? Huh. I think normal is gone the moment you showed up. As the evening wore on, Eli poured himself a cup of tea. He watched Lyra move around, tidying, organizing, and occasionally stopping to observe a human gadget with fascination. She picked up a small desk fan and rotated it experimentally. Wind velocity distribution is uneven, she murmured. Optimization possible. Eli chuckled. You're not just cleaning, you're studying everything. Lyra nodded. Observation is necessary to improve efficiency. Learning is continuous. Eli sipped his tea, realizing something remarkable. This wasn't just a helper, this was someone, or something, that could see the world in a way he never could. And maybe, just maybe, he could learn from her too. The night deepened. Lights from the city outside flickered against the windows. Lyra continued to work silently, her movements graceful and precise. For the first time in weeks, Eli felt a strange sense of peace. Maybe life with a glowing alien maid wouldn't be so bad after all. And somewhere deep in his mind, a tiny spark of excitement lit up. Who knew what adventures or challenges this unexpected guest might bring? One thing was certain. Life had just become a lot more interesting. The morning sun poured through Eli's apartment window, casting a golden glow across the now tidy room. Lyra was already awake, standing by the kitchen counter with a focused expression. Her bioluminescent patterns pulsed softly, reflecting her mental activity. Eli rubbed his eyes and yawned, still adjusting to the strange reality of having a glowing alien girl as a housemate. You're up early, he said, shuffling toward the kitchen. I didn't even know you needed sleep. Lyra turned her head, her silver eyes gleaming. I require minimal rest cycles. Observation and maintenance functions continue even during low activity periods. I am ready to perform domestic tasks whenever required. Eli frowned. So, basically, you never get tired? Correct. My energy consumption is optimized for continuous operation. Eli rubbed his temples. I asked for a robot maid, not a superpowered alien who never sleeps. Lyra tilted her head slightly. Your human expectations were set for a standard robotic unit. I surpass those parameters. Efficiency is higher. Eli groaned. Of course you do. Why would anything ever be simple? Lyra said nothing, instead reaching for a small blender and preparing breakfast. Her hands moved smoothly, almost gracefully, yet every motion seemed precise and deliberate. Eggs cooked perfectly, coffee brewed just right, and a faint hum of alien energy filled the room. Eli watched her work, still amazed. You really pay attention to details, huh? Yes, she replied. Observation and learning are essential for optimal performance. Human behavior is complex but predictable through analysis and adaptation. Eli shook his head and laughed. You make humans sound like robots. Lyra considered him for a moment. From your perspective, humans may seem predictable in routines. However, emotional responses are not fully predictable. I continue to study those patterns. Eli took a bite of his eggs and grinned. Well, you're doing a great job so far. Better than any maid I've ever had. Lyra's faint smile showed she understood his compliment. Acknowledged. Your satisfaction is a measure of success. After breakfast, Eli decided to test Lyra in ways beyond cleaning. He had a small workbench full of unfinished gadgets, drone parts, and other half-built machines. Normally, tinkering with them was stressful. He had to manage wires, circuits, and constant troubleshooting. He wondered if Lyra... It was a bright morning when Eli realized that life with Lyra was not going to be as calm as he had hoped. He had spent the night tinkering with one of his half-built drones, and as usual, Lyra had hovered nearby, silently observing his every move. Eli, Lyra said softly, your drone design has a minor flaw in the power regulator. I recommend a slight recalibration. Eli wiped sweat from his brow. Yeah, I noticed. Thanks, Lyra. Before he could respond further, a low hum filled the apartment. The floor vibrated faintly. Eli frowned. What the... Outside the window, he saw them. Small, aggressive drones, flying straight toward his building. Their lights glowed red, and they moved in synchronized patterns. Lyra! Eli shouted. What are those? Lyra's silver eyes narrowed. Analysis indicates they are security drones, likely malfunctioning or following an unauthorized directive. Probability of threat, high. Eli's heart pounded. Malfunctioning? Or targeting you? Lyra's head tilted. Possibility exists. My alien signature may have triggered their alert protocols. Defensive measures recommended. Eli swallowed. He had never been in real danger like this before. He had dealt with broken drones, malfunctioning robots, and stubborn AI, but never an attack. And now, his apartment, the one place he considered safe, was under threat. Okay, he muttered. We need a plan, fast. Lyra moved with incredible speed, pulling tools and components from their shelves. I can deploy countermeasures and disable incoming drones. Your assistance is optional but may improve outcome efficiency. Eli grabbed a toolkit. Optional? No, I'm helping. Now. As the first drone smashed against the window, shattering glass, Lyra raised her hands. A faint energy pulse radiated from her, sending the drone spinning out of control. It crashed into the wall with a spark and tumbled to the floor. Eli stared. You stopped it with your hands? Energy manipulation is part of my operational functions, Lyra replied calmly. Physical contact is not required. Another drone appeared at the window. Eli quickly set up a makeshift barricade using chairs and tables. Lyra analyzed the incoming threat. Deploying countermeasures. Stand back. With a wave of her hand, the second drone's sensors overloaded. Sparks flew and the drone fell twitching until it stopped moving. Eli's jaw dropped. This is insane, he muttered. I thought robots were supposed to be dangerous. Not you. Lyra's expression remained calm. Efficiency is preferable to destruction. Threat neutralized with minimal collateral damage. Eli nodded. Okay, that's actually smart. But the drones kept coming, more aggressive than before. Eli realized that alone. He couldn't stop them. He needed to think fast. Lyra, he whispered, we need a trap. Something that can disable all of them at once. Lyra's eyes flickered. I am calculating optimal strategy. Eli grabbed wires, a battery pack, and one of his small drone chassis. He looked at Lyra. We'll improvise, follow my lead. Working together, they rigged the living room. Eli connected wires to the battery pack and set the small drone as a lure. Lyra moved around the room, using her alien abilities to subtly manipulate energy flows, increasing the trap's efficiency. Ready, Eli said, stepping back. The drone swooped in. One drone, attracted by the moving small drone, flew directly into the trap. Sparks arced as the electric surge disabled its circuits. Another drone collided with the first, short-circuiting immediately. Within moments, the room was quiet. Eli collapsed onto the floor, panting. We did it. We actually did it. Lyra approached him. Efficiency of human-alien collaboration. High. Your improvisation significantly contributed to success. Eli looked at her, still amazed. You really saved us. Lyra's eyes softened slightly. Mutual survival is preferable. Your safety is noted as a priority. Eli smiled faintly. Thanks, Lyra. I mean it. For the first time, Eli felt a real bond forming. She wasn't just a maid or a helper. She was someone he could rely on. After the chaos, Eli started to clean up. Well, I guess we learned something today. Lyra tilted her head. Observation. Human improvisation combined with alien technology increases success probability. Lesson noted. Eli laughed. That's one way to put it, but honestly, I think we just got lucky. Lyra's eyes shimmered. Luck is irrelevant. When analysis and adaptation are applied, probability of favorable outcome was high due to combined efforts. Eli chuckled. You make it sound so simple, but I know. This was close. Too close. As the evening approached, Eli patched the broken window and repaired minor damage. Lyra stayed nearby, assisting quietly but efficiently. He noticed her fascination with human technology growing. Every tool, every circuit, every drone seemed to capture her attention. Eli, she said softly, your inventions are remarkable. Humans create complex devices with limited resources. Efficiency and creativity are impressive. Eli smiled. Thanks, I guess. We don't always think about how impressive it is, but it means a lot coming from you. Lyra's patterns glowed faintly. Acknowledged. Emotional response detected. Gratitude. Human emotions are interesting. Eli chuckled. You're going to get used to them. Or maybe I'll get used to you. The night was quiet, but Eli couldn't shake a feeling of unease. The drones had been aggressive, precise, and seemingly guided by someone or something. If this was just the beginning, then life with Lyra might be far more dangerous than he had anticipated. He glanced at Lyra. She was watching him, her glowing eyes calm and focused. In that moment, Eli realized how much he had come to rely on her presence. Her alien abilities, combined with human ingenuity, made them a team stronger than either could be alone. You know, Eli said after a while, I didn't think I'd say this, but I'm glad you're here, even if it's dangerous. Lyra tilted her head, studying him. I am pleased to hear that. Mutual companionship enhances emotional stability in humans. Observation suggests this contributes to survival instincts. Eli laughed softly. You really analyze everything, huh? Analysis is necessary for learning, Lyra replied simply. Eli shook his head, smiling. Well, I guess we'll be learning together for a while. The next morning, Eli and Lyra began preparing for potential new threats. They reinforced the apartment, creating subtle defenses and escape plans. Eli taught Lyra about human tools, improvisation, and traps, while she taught him to see patterns, anticipate movements, and manage energy flows in ways he had never imagined. Over the next few days, Eli noticed something remarkable. Lyra wasn't just learning how to survive in his world. She was learning how to understand humans. She asked about emotions, curiosity, humor, and even fear. She observed not just actions, but intentions. And through it all, Eli felt a growing respect and even affection for this glowing alien who had appeared at his door so unexpectedly. But danger was not far behind. The malfunctioning drones were only the first test. Eli knew that someone, or some organization, had sent them. He didn't know who or why, but he knew they would return if they discovered Lyra's presence. He looked at her and smiled faintly. Ready for whatever comes next? Lyra's silver eyes glimmered. Prepared for challenges. I will continue to assist you. Eli nodded. Good, because I think life with you is about to get a lot more interesting. And in that quiet moment, with the city lights flickering outside and a faint hum of energy in the room, Eli realized that the strange glowing alien maid was no longer just a helper. She was his partner in an unpredictable world, a world that was about to throw even bigger challenges their way. For the first time, he felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. And maybe excitement. The adventure was only beginning. The next morning, Eli woke to the sound of faint humming outside his window. Sunlight spilled across his apartment, illuminating the neat rows of tools and gadgets. Lyra was already awake, standing near the kitchen counter with her silver eyes focused on a small drone she had repaired the night before. Eli, she said softly, analysis suggests that remaining inside may no longer be optimal. External observation could improve adaptation and preparedness. Eli frowned, sipping his coffee. You mean we should leave the apartment, go outside? Lyra nodded. Affirmative. Exposure to human environments provides additional data. Learning. Potential high. Eli ran a hand through his hair. Leaving the apartment meant risk. The drones had attacked once. Who knew what else might be waiting outside? But he also knew Lyra needed to experience the world to learn fully, and maybe he could learn something too. Okay, he said finally. Let's do it, but carefully. Very carefully. They stepped out onto the bustling streets of the city. Flying cars zipped overhead, pedestrians moved with purpose, and holographic advertisements flickered across skyscrapers. Eli had walked these streets countless times, but today, with Lyra by his side, everything looked different. Lyra's silver eyes darted around. Human society is complex. Structures, vehicles, and behaviors are highly varied. Observation suggests an intricate system of interactions. Eli chuckled. You make it sound like a jungle. She tilted her head. In a sense, it is. Survival and adaptation are key. Humans navigate it efficiently. Lyra was fascinated by everything. She paused to watch a group of street performers, examining how humans coordinated movements and attracted attention. She studied the flying cars, noting their energy patterns and flight paths. She even stopped to inspect a vending machine, asking Eli about its purpose and mechanics. Eli smiled. You really do see everything. Yes, she said softly. Observation is Eli thought the day at the expo had been a success. Lyra had impressed humans and aliens alike, and for a moment, he believed they were safe. But the feeling of safety was short-lived. It started with a faint signal alert on Eli's old scanner. A rapid series of pulses indicated multiple ships moving in their direction, fast, precise, and coordinated. Eli's heart sank. He recognized the patterns immediately. Lyra, we have company, and I don't think they're friendly. Lyra's silver eyes narrowed. Analysis indicates hostile presence. Vessels contain combined human and alien technology. Probability of interception, high. Eli swallowed hard. Great. Just great. And here I thought the expo was the worst we'd faced today. They didn't have time to plan. The first group of agents arrived minutes later, descending from small ships that hovered like predatory birds. Their uniforms were sleek, black, and intimidating. Eli instinctively moved in front of Lyra. "Step aside, human," one of the agents commanded. "The alien entity is being taken for study. Resistance is futile." Eli shook his head. "Absolutely not. She's not a threat. She's with me. You will not take her." Lyra stepped forward, her glowing patterns intensifying. "I am not hostile. Removal is unnecessary. Defensive measures can be deployed if required." The agents didn't hesitate. One fired a stun net, which crackled through the air toward Lyra. With a swift motion, Lyra deflected it using a faint energy barrier, sending it harmlessly to the ground. Eli's eyes widened. "Lyra, you—" "Remain calm," she said softly. Analysis. Offensive action detected. Probability of success without assistance, moderate. Your support is advantageous. Eli grabbed a nearby metal beam, preparing to defend her. "Then let's make it work, partner." The first attack was relentless. Agents fired stun pulses, small energy grenades, and even drones equipped with tracking systems. Eli ducked, jumped, and improvised barricades, while Lyra moved gracefully, disabling attacks, deflecting energy blasts, and using her alien abilities to redirect drones into walls. Despite their teamwork, Eli could see they were outnumbered. He had to act fast. "Lyra, we need a plan. We can't just fight them one by one." She nodded. "Assessment, environmental adaptation, and human ingenuity are required. Your input is optimal." Eli glanced around the warehouse-like alley where they were cornered. Pipes, crates, cables, and abandoned drones littered the area. "Okay, we improvise. We use the environment. I'll set traps. You disable them strategically." Lyra's patterns pulsed brighter. Optimal strategy accepted. Initiating. Coordination. Working together, they set their plan in motion. Eli rigged electrical wires to old metal pipes and stacked crates as barriers. Lyra manipulated energy fields subtly, redirecting the agent's drones and interfering with their targeting systems. The first agent charged, aiming to grab Lyra, but Eli triggered a makeshift trap, sending a crate swinging into the agent. Lyra used the brief distraction to disable the remaining drones and stun another agent with a controlled pulse of energy. Eli ducked behind a stack of crates, panting. "We're doing it. Keep going." Lyra's silver eyes focused on each attacker. Coordination maximized, probability of success increasing. One of the agents tried to flank them, but Eli anticipated the move and triggered another trap. Wires wrapped around the agent's legs, pulling him down. Lyra immobilized the others with energy nets, carefully avoiding harm. After several tense minutes, all agents were incapacitated. Eli collapsed on the floor, exhausted but exhilarated. We actually did it. That was insane." Lyra approached, her glowing patterns dimming slightly as she monitored his condition. "Outcome favorable. Survival and safety maintained. Your ingenuity was instrumental." Eli shook his head, smiling faintly. "I couldn't have done it without you. Seriously, you're amazing." Lyra's silver eyes met his. Acknowledged. Mutual cooperation enhances outcomes. Observation. Trust between humans and aliens increases effectiveness. They took a moment to catch their breath. Eli looked at the agent's equipment, scanning it quickly. Something about the technology felt familiar. These weren't just random attackers, they had been sent with knowledge of Lyra's abilities. Someone knew she existed. "Lyra, these people weren't random," he said quietly. "They knew about you. Someone wants you, and I have a feeling it's not just for study." Lyra's eyes flickered with a faint glow. Assessment confirmed. Likely origin, government agency or rogue faction. Motivation, acquisition or experimentation. Probability of further threats, high. Eli ran a hand through his hair. "Great. So we're on the run. Again." Lyra remained calm. Planning and preparation increase survival probability. I recommend retreat and relocation to a secure location. I will assist with navigation and defense. Eli nodded. Okay, let's do it. But first, we need to figure out why they want you so badly, and who sent them. As they moved through the dim streets, Eli noticed the city's lights reflecting in Lyra's glowing patterns. Despite the danger, she seemed composed, even fascinated by her surroundings. Her calmness was a stark contrast to Eli's racing heart. You're really calm for all this, Eli said. Don't you feel scared? Lyra tilted her head. Fear is acknowledged as a human response to threat. Probability of survival increases with measured response. Panic reduces effectiveness. Observation confirms this. Eli laughed softly. You make it sound so logical, but I guess you're right. Staying calm helped us back there. Lyra's silver eyes glimmered. Humans are admirable in their resilience and adaptability. Your performance was notable. Emotional attachment detected, concern for my well-being. This strengthens cooperative response. Eli felt a warmth in his chest. Despite the danger, he was glad she was with him. She wasn't just a helper or an experiment. She was his partner. And together, they could face almost anything. After navigating the city's alleys and avoiding surveillance, they reached Eli's temporary safe house, a small, fortified apartment on the outskirts. Eli quickly secured the entrance and set up minor defenses. Eli, Lyra said softly, we should discuss strategy. Future threats are likely. Analysis of hostile patterns will enhance preparedness. Eli nodded, still catching his breath. Yeah, we need a plan. But right now, let's just rest for a bit. We've earned it. Lyra's glowing patterns pulsed softly. Acknowledged. Rest and recovery are important for human emotional stability. I will remain vigilant. Smiled faintly. Thanks, Lyra, I really mean it. I don't know what I'd do without you. Lyra tilted her head. Mutual reliance increases probability of survival. Emotional bond noted. Observation. Humans value companionship and trust. This is beneficial. Eli chuckled. You really analyze everything, don't you? Yes, she replied simply. Analysis ensures efficiency and safety. As night fell, Eli and Lyra settled into a quiet routine. The city outside seemed peaceful, but both of them knew danger was still out there. Whoever had sent the agents, and whoever wanted Lyra, would not give up easily. But for now, they had survived. Together, they had faced impossible odds, combining human ingenuity with alien abilities. And Eli realized something important. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't just technology or courage. It was the ability to think, adapt, and never give up, even in the face of overwhelming danger. Lyra's presence had taught him that. And in return, he had taught her the value of trust, improvisation, and human determination. Eli looked at her, glowing softly in the dim light. Tomorrow, we figure out who's after you, and why, and we stop them, together. Lyra's silver eyes met his, steady and bright. Agreed. Mutual cooperation will continue. Preparedness and defense are priorities. I will remain by your side. Eli felt a rare sense of peace. The road ahead would be dangerous, but he was no longer alone. Together, they could face whatever challenges came next. And as the city hummed quietly outside, Eli knew one thing. Life with Lyra was no longer ordinary. It was an adventure, and it had only just begun. Eli woke to the faint hum of the city outside. The previous day's chaos still echoed in his mind, but for the first time in a long while, he felt a quiet determination. Lyra was already awake, standing by the window, her glowing patterns pulsing softly in the morning light. Eli, she said softly, analysis indicates potential threats remain active. Strategic planning is advisable. Eli nodded, rubbing his eyes. Yeah, I know. But today we do more than survive. Today we find out who's after you, And why? Lyra tilted her head. Understood. Data acquisition and environmental analysis will enhance probability of success. Together they prepared. Eli gathered tools, gadgets, and improvised weapons. Lyra scanned communication signals, intercepted messages, and analyzed recent patterns from the agent's technology. Piece by piece, they pieced together the puzzle. By midday, the truth became clear. A secretive faction of humans working with a few alien allies wanted Lyra, not as a friend, not as a guest, but as an experiment. They believed her alien abilities could give them immense power, and they didn't care about her autonomy. Eli's heart sank. They want to control you, he said quietly. They don't care who you are. They just see power. Lyra's silver eyes glimmered, but her expression was calm. Assessment accurate. Ethical violation detected. Probability of threat escalation high. Countermeasures are required. Eli clenched his fists. Then we stop them. Together. Their plan was simple but risky. Eli would use his knowledge of human technology and improvisation to set traps and create dive